On the 9th of May, the IMF disbursed aid to Pakistan. This was in the midst of peak India-Pakistan tensions, and this followed the completion of the first review of Pakistan's 37-month, $7 billion bailout from the IMF, approved in September of last year. The IMF acknowledged progress in stabilising the economy. However, this fund has now imposed 11 new structural benchmarks that must be met by Pakistan before the next review in September. According to Express Tribune, these include mandatory parliamentary approvals of the next budget in line with IMF targets, timely notifications of power and gas tariff hikes, and the legalization of the captive power levy. The objective as per the IMF is to keep energy pricing at cost recovery levels and reduce fiscal imbalances. The IMF's new conditions span fiscal, energy, governance and trade policies. By the 30th of June, Pakistan must pass legislation to remove the cap on the debt service surcharge, enabling higher electricity costs to be passed on to consumers. It must also publish a governance action plan and initiate reforms to liberalize trade. Additionally, Pakistan must prepare plans to phase out tax incentives for industrial zones by 2035. Several conditions extend beyond the September deadline, but signal the IMF's intent to lock in medium-term reforms. The fund maintains that its disbursements are strictly for reserve building and do not support non-priority spending or general imports. The IMF report also flagged increased enterprise risks to Pakistan's reform agenda due to rising tensions with India. It warned of reputational risks if fund disbursements are perceived to be misused. The statement came after India's defence minister called IMF aid to Pakistan no less than terror funding, urging a re-evaluation of support. While the IMF stressed its neutral role and clarified that lending is tied to measurable macroeconomic goals, it acknowledged the political sensitivities. So far, markets have reacted mildly. Pakistan's stock market retained most gains and sovereign spreads widened over moderately. With the next review due in September and benchmarks mounting, Islamabad faces a narrowing fiscal window and rising scrutiny.